Hi there, my name's Craig. I'm part of the tech team at Eastwood Park Theatre. As you can see, I'm not in the theatre at the moment, I'm at home, with good reason. Um, we've decided to make this little series of videos in the hope that A, you find them informative and interesting, but more importantly, B, the next time you come to visit us at Eastwood Park Theatre, you'll be able to enjoy the performance so much more because you have this level of knowledge and awareness of our world and the reasons why things are happening on stage in a certain way, etc. etc. The first little video we're going to do, I love the theory behind superstitions, and you can impress your friends and family the next time you're at the theatre with some of these. Some are very easy to explain, some not so. Some have a very obvious background in where the superstition comes from, and some have many theories. So the first one you've all heard, or hopefully if you've been coming to the theatre enough, it's bad luck to whistle on stage. Well, that one, pretty easy to explain. The reason it's bad luck to whistle on stage is because of these guys. Back in the day, before automation and mechanisation within theatre, the job of lifting and lowering parts of the scenery, scenic elements in the play, cloth, etc., was quite a task. Sailors were employed in theatre because of their knowledge of rope work, knots, working with pulleys, etc. In their day job, they were very good at lifting and lowering heavy weights, etc. So a lot of theatres would employ sailors to do the job of the flyman, lifting and lowering bits of the set and scenery for a performance. The problem comes though during the performance when you want to cue the flyman to bring in the next piece of scenery or take out a piece of scenery. You can't just shout instructions in the middle of a show. So they would cue the flyman by a series of sharp whistles, but very short and abrupt. And this was their signal to go ahead with the next cue. The theory, it's bad luck to whistle on stage, is pretty obvious. You walk on stage, these guys hear whistling, automatically think, oh, it's the next cue. They'll go with the next cue, which, if you're unlucky, is to bring in another piece of scenery. So the chances are, if you walk on stage whistling, you're going to get whacked in the head with a pretty heavy piece of scenery. So that's the theory behind that one. That one's pretty straightforward. This next one, why can't you say Macbeth in theatre? Why is it bad luck? Again, this one is pretty straightforward to explain. Theatre's a business, and like any other business, you're in it to make money. Although my wife often questions that theory. This is where it all counts, in the box office. So again, going back to days of yore, before film and television, one of the main places to go to get entertained was the theatre. But people didn't want to wait for weeks and weeks and weeks for another production to come into the theatre. They wanted to be able to go on a regular basis. So repertory theatre was very popular, where you would have a company that had rehearsed and were able to do a lot of performances of different plays in quick succession. They could turn these plays round in quick succession for the entertainment of the masses. So, getting back to the bad luck bit, chances are if you heard Macbeth being mentioned backstage, it was because the production you were in wasn't doing too well at the box office. Macbeth was a very popular play, and it's thought that a lot of theatre owners, if they weren't able to bring in enough money and impress their bank manager, they would put Macbeth on to get bums on seats and boost the coffers and bring money in at the box office. So that's the theory behind why it's bad luck if you hear anyone mentioning the Scottish play backstage, because you're about to be unemployed, your production's going to get cancelled, and someone's going to put Macbeth on in its place. So again, another superstition that's pretty straightforward to explain. This next one has got many roots to it, and I would love to know which is the correct theory. But let's go through some of them. This first one, I don't know if you can see this little guy. He's an evil theatre pixie / evil spirit, whatever you want to call him. I think this theory comes from kind of Central Europe, mainland Europe, the big opera houses and theatres in Europe. It was thought that a lot of these venues were populated by evil spirits who were very Machiavellian and mischievous, and one of the things they used to do to entertain themselves was they would do the opposite. They would be contrary and do the opposite of the wishes of the cast that were performing in that theatre. So if you wished someone in the cast good luck, these little guys would do the opposite, and they would bring bad luck upon the person. So apparently the theory is, if you wish bad luck upon a member of your fellow cast, these guys would do the opposite, and the person would have good luck and fortune on stage. Another theory is Break a Leg comes from the ensemble cast of a production. For ensemble cast, you could replace that with what we commonly would term now the chorus. An ensemble cast of a performance in olden times would get paid by the amount of times they appeared on stage. So the more they could appear on stage, the more money they would get in their wage packet at the end of the week. In theatre, you have down either side masking curtains called legs. So you'll hear people talk of this imaginary sight line, the leg line, where if you're on one side of it, you're off stage and the audience can't see you. If you're on the other side of it, you're on stage and the audience can see you. So you're wishing good fortune on your fellow members of cast that they manage to break the leg line and get on stage, because every time they get on stage, they get paid. So, there you go. This one, I like this picture, and I hope you can see it well, because ballerinas make some crazy shapes. This theory is that Break a Leg comes from the world of ballet. You were wishing the prima ballerina good fortune in the performance, that she does so well that she gets applause and ovation from the audience, and she's able to come forward and take that applause. Ballerinas are able to curtsy and get lower than anybody I know. So it's thought that from out front, when you look at a ballerina curtsying, the shapes they make are so bizarre that it kind of looks as though they've broken a leg. So that's a theory where the phrase break a leg comes from. It's from the world of ballet, and they're wishing good luck upon the prima ballerina that they have so much luck they get a chance to come forward and curtsy, and it looks as though they've broken a leg. This one is my favourite. I would love to think that this is where the phrase comes from. Have you recognised it yet? This is the Globe Theatre, made famous by William Shakespeare. As you can see, the stalls, there's no seating, standing room only. Some of Shakespeare's productions were so popular that in this part of the globe, standing room only, you were literally squashed in. So much so that at the end of the performance, there were so many people packed in that area, you couldn't actually bring your hands up to applaud the performance. The only way you could applaud or acknowledge the performance was to stamp your feet. So this is my favourite theory of where the phrase break a legs comes from. You're wishing fellow members of the cast good fortune. They do so well, the audience love them, they're stamping their feet so hard that they break a leg. I'd love to think that's where it came from. If you guys have got any other theories, please let us know. Put that in the comments below. But when all's said and done, like I said earlier, it's a business. And I think at the end of the day, the phrase break a leg probably comes from these guys. I hate to say it, and apologies to any actors out there. Actors are pretty mercenary. And yeah, this is probably where the phrase break a leg comes from. They are wishing people good fortune and the ability to break the leg line, get on stage and make money. So there you go. There's a little insight into some theatre superstitions and potentially where they came from. If you would like us to explain anything else, feel free to put in the comments below. It's not just me that works at Eastwood Park Theatre. We've got quite a few people in the tech team. If we don't know the answer, we certainly know someone who will know the answer. So by all means, ask us anything about film, the world of music, live music on stage, theatre, whatever you've got in your mind. You think, I wonder how they do that. Why do they do that? Feel free, drop us a line, ask the question, and hopefully we'll be able to get the answer back to you very soon. That's us for the first one. Hope you come back online, see more of these tech talks, build up your knowledge, and that really will make your next trip to the theatre so much more enjoyable because you know what's going on. So take care for now, stay safe, and I hope to speak to all, breaking his teeth in for a horse. I hope to speak to you all again soon. Bye.